r/ask Reddit. What's a super genius way to hide something in your house? Treat it as being super extra important, so you hide it in a super extra important place in the house. Then tell yourself you'll always remember where it is because it's in that super extra important place. In my experience, you'll never find it again. My great grandparents apparently hid a fortune's worth of ivory somewhere in their house. Forgot where it was, offered to let any of their grandkids keep it if they could find it, and then died years later having never found the ivory. Some random people live in that house now and potentially have quite the surprise waiting for them. Highly likely that grandma and grandpa were trying to keep the kiddos busy and out of their hair. Hey kids, there's ivory hidden somewhere in the house. Now run off and go find it. False bottom to your cat's litter box. Nobody's gonna dig through cat shit to look for your stuff. Inside of trophies. Mine are all hollow. That would require being good at something. Nah, you only have to be good at buying trophies. I just hid something inside a jar. Put a toilet paper tube in the middle. Then fill the sides with dog food biscuits. The odd part was, he was hiding dog food biscuits. Also odd, he has no dog. In the summer, winter jacket pockets. My favorite day is when it's cold enough to put on your winter jacket for the first time and you find some bounty, usually change, a Ricola, or a ticket stub. I like to leave myself a couple bucks in my coat pockets when I put them away in the spring. When it gets cold again, I get a present. Fake electrical outlet. Looks like a regular outlet but has no wiring. You can keep a small wad of cash or anything in similar size. Until someone goes to use the outlet. You can get a blank plate cover. Nobody will duck with that. My ex hid wads of $100s in the mouth of a VCR. That's where my kid used to hide spoonfuls of yogurt. I used to work for a retailer where someone higher up got the idea we should host kids' birthday parties for free. Basically the idea was that the parents would come in and supply all the food etc. We'd have a game system. This generation. Hooked up to a giant TV and let the kids play ET games. No M-rated. And provide the space. Dude. Every party was the same. 24 sets of parents drop off their kids. One set would stay and 20 plus kids would run around a space way too small for 20 plus kids. Notice, I'm not blaming the parents or kids for that. If you're going to make it known you're hosting birthday parties, you should have the space to host them. This led to one of our more stupid and humorous experiences doing this. Apparently our on-site host and chaperone parents didn't see little Jimmy deciding it was time to see what a cupcake would do in a game console, as they shoved a cupcake frosting first into the Blu-ray drive of the console. That was our last birthday party. EDITR game ratings E for everyone T14. I used to think I could hide my weed from my mom in the towel in the bass drum of my drum set. One day I reached in and found a note instead. It said, "Not as smart as you think you are, so not that way." If she's not a drummer, she wouldn't understand the towel and would assume it was nonsense you made up to hide stuff. If she was a drummer, she'd definitely had that thought before about it being a good hiding place because it seems so innocuous. I would have thought that was a genius way to hide stuff, but the older I get the more I understand how my own mom's brain works. I think you all seem to be missing the fact that this is a mother. She has probably spent a few decades picking up after you. She sees a crumpled or rolled up towel. She is going to want to wash it. As a kid, I saw that whomever had put the floor trim in my room didn't do a great job measuring. There was a section in one corner of the room, under my bed, that was about 18 inches long and held in with a single nail. I found that I could simply pull it out, and the whole thing would swing out like a door. So I took a knife and cut out the drywall. Just enough that if the trim was replaced, you'd never see the hole. I kept everything in there from porn to cash to weed. As a paranoid child with fairly conservative parents, I thought of all sorts of creative places to hide things. I should be a law enforcement consultant. I can find any hiding place. Hi Charlie, it's Dad. Holy shit, Charlie, your dad is a copyright safe supervillain? Bring in 10,000 more identical ones. Edit holy crap. Such a little comment and 9,000 upvotes. Soon you'll be able to hide your upvote amongst 10,000 others. If it's drugs this might be a problem. You can never find my brick of cocaine in this here pile of cocaine bricks. Inside electronics. A lot of electronics has spare room inside. False wall and closet. Either the back of the closet, top of the closet, or a wall that doesn't have a door next to it. Harder to see the missing space. Drawers, false bottom, underneath a drawer, or tape behind a drawer, on top of cabinets, especially with a false top to cover whatever you're hiding. Behind the backing of a picture. Best with those cheap photo frames that are easy to disassemble. False middle to a bottle of soda, toilet tank. Taped up under sink near the front board. Make your own false book. Works best with large bookcase. Inside a large chair or couch that's not properly sealed up underneath. Behind washing machine. Under dishwasher. None of these will stop a dedicated person from finding them. A few of the appliance-based ones can be discovered if someone else does a repair on them. A few require some effort to make false cavities, but between the variety it will be hard to figure out where. This guy hides shit. That seems like a bad thing to hide. Inside a Holmes & Watson DVD case. It will never be opened. Definitely not worth stealing. Only risk is someone possibly decides to incinerate it. Surely a thief would be suspicious that someone actually owns a copy of Holmes & Watson and check it immediately. Stick a note on the front. Happy birthday Uncle Bernie, they'll understand. When I was a teenager I got my hands on a Playboy magazine. This was just before we had internet at home, which changed the game of course. My mom knew I had it but I was just old enough where she decided to tolerate a few boobs. Still, in the conversation we had about it, she bet that if I was trying to hide a magazine from her, she would be able to find it. I accepted her challenge and told her to give me a little while to come up with hiding place. I had a chair with a cushion made of foam with a fabric cover, like a typical couch cushion. I removed the fabric cover and cut a slit into the foam, inserting the magazine in the middle of the cushion. I then turned the cushion around so that the slit was on the inside and couldn't be seen if you unzipped it. I put the foam back in the cushion and put it back on the chair. Couldn't feel anything sitting on it. My mom searched for a good while and could not find it. I think even if someone tore your house up completely they likely wouldn't take the foam out of the couch cushions and carefully inspect it from all sides. Thieves don't care about your shit. If they think you have something they want, they think you keep large amounts of cash, drugs etc in your house, they'll just slash your cushions, lounges etc looking for it. A common thief isn't going to go through as much effort as, say, a gang member who suspects you have cash, drugs and is hunting for it. Though in the end I suspect this thread is more for hiding things from notice rather than hiding things from someone who knows it's there. Put it wherever you keep losing your keys. If you lose your keys often, put them in the fridge with your lunch. Can't leave without keys, and if you forget lunch now you got keys and a lunch. Have misplaced my keys on more than one occasion. I have one of those front doors that lock from the inside using a key. No get out of house. My house was robbed once. They cut the silk liner out of a really nice fedora from Havana, kicked holes in the back of all the closets and certain walls, disassembled electronics, pulled all the books off the bookshelf, moved around all the appliances, cut holes in couch cushions and mattresses, etc. However, they found no valuables because it's my second home, and I don't leave any cash or jewelry laying around. A lot of these ideas may be good for hiding things from people that live with you. But if you're looking to hide something from a would-be thief, get a safety deposit box. Edit for clarification. The criminals were apprehended. They were local landscapers who knew I wouldn't be around for long periods. They were found with a lot of amphetamines, which could explain their interesting tactics. No, I am not a drug dealer. I guess safe deposit boxes aren't as safe as I thought. I don't wear fedoras, I promise. Fedorambagla. They weren't looking for money. They were just trying to help the dude's fashion game. They trashed the rest of the house to cover it up. If it's flat, open bracket, money, in books, you can repurpose empty food and cleaner containers to hide bigger objects. Only flat things? Whatever happened to cutting out the inside of a book in the shape of a rock hammer? I never understood why he took that risk. Like the warden was super religious. What if he randomly decided to look inside Andy's Bible? He'd be ducked. Should have put the rock hammer in the tunnel he was making. At least then, if he gets caught, he gets caught. Read this as what's a super genius way to hide in your house and was convinced Op was wanting to work on their hide and seek game. Coming, ready or not. Title of my sex tape. My mother and grandmother both have cold cash storage. It's a Tupperware in the freezers with cash in it. Edit. Thank you very much for wanting to reply, but the frozen assets and cold hard cash jokes has been made quite few times already. Please, stop. I'm starting to regret making this comment. I heard a story once about somebody who went to help an old lady move her chest freezer. They grabbed it but it wouldn't lift up. Asked her if she'd emptied it and said yes. She'd taken all the food out. They opened it up to check, and it turned out she just didn't know what to do with the foot or so of silver bars that her late husband had been putting under the food for years. My dad lifted his living room carpet and it was lined with notes from like 30 years ago. He contacted the old lady who had the house the year before him and went to her house. She said she doesn't know anything about it. Her husband had died of dementia, so my dad insisted he must have hid it and gave her the whole lot. It was around £10. 000. If it's light and small, I split some of the seams on the side bottom of blackout drapes and stitched in a pocket and velcro. It's pretty much invisible, and I doubt people robbing the house want to disturb the drapes. I use it to stash cash. For larger stuff, I have a wood fireplace, so we have decorative wood sitting next to it. I split a log, hollowed it out a bit with a drill, use it to hide a bunch of spare keys, safe keys, etc. I made these things while I was recovering from an injury and super bored. On the positive side, I think nobody will look in my places. On a negative side, if there's ever a fire, the neighbors will think I'm insane when I save a blackout drape and a log. Edit. You guys are nuts. My address is redacted saint. Redacted USA. I have had some fun thinking about all the would-be robbers rifling through decorative fire logs and stealing blackout drapes. Honestly, it would make some amateur/junior detectives scratch their heads, and that's enough to make me happy. Love you all. That works until a house sitter decides to use the fireplace. Friend of mine, ex-criminal, had that problem when police raided his house. The gun he owned was not legal, so he threw it in a pot full of beans. While they were on a stew, cooking, he saved his ass. Open bracket. Sorry for bad English though. Did he still eat the stew? Of course he did. Leftover gun. Throw it in, baby. You've got the stew going. 2 words. Tampon box. Yes, that's also a great way to smuggle shots to a venue. The second they peek into a bag and see feminine hygiene products, it's an immediate keep going. I will warn against this. A particularly zealous bouncer at an event we recently attended found something hidden in my friend's tampon box in her purse. To be fair, it was a black tie event, so a full tampon box may have been a suspicious thing to have in one's purse as opposed to a couple loose in the bag. If you're trying to smuggle something into an event, then on your person is always best. They can't get too invasive with every guest. If you're trying to hide something from me, you just need to put it in the fridge or the cupboard. Front and center. Me. Hey, I can't find the applesauce. Them. It's in the cupboard with all the other sauces. Me. No, it's not. Them. No, it's definitely in there. I put it there an hour ago. Me. I'm telling you. I just looked and it's not there. Them. Fine. I'll show you. Gets up. Goes to cupboard. Opens it. Points to applesauce in plain sight. Me. Yeah, that wasn't there before. Well, hello my husband. I once moved the strawberry jam out of the way to see if the strawberry jam was behind it. You can dissolve your friend's Nobel Prize medals in Aqua Regia. Edit. After a few oddly specific responses, I'm guessing most people aren't getting the reference. The question was, what's a super genius way to hide something? George de Hevesy, a Nobel Prize winner in chemistry, so I would classify as a super genius, needed a way to hide 2 of his friends' Nobel Prizes while they fled the Nazis. He came up with the idea of dissolving them in an acid, Aqua Regia, and left the solution on a shelf in his lab. He came back years later to find them undisturbed. The gold was precipitated out of the solution and the Nobel Society recast the original gold into medals. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.